Hello.
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 Oh, hello there. Fancy meeting you here. Ghost Hunter. Somebody named Phil.
Ooh.
I don't know. Never heard of him. Unlife. Sugar Rush. Vector. What's going on? Ghost Hunter says, wait, how am I sub? Mike.
I mean,
If in doubt, blame Mike.
if there's ever a sub question, it's probably Mike.
When in
I
doubt.
haven't seen Mike in a while, though.
When in doubt, blame. Oh, he's been here.
Was he?
Yeah, he changed his name again.
Oh.
He's here every day. He just changes his name all the time.
Oh, I see. I'm seeing no one said that to me, gave out 10 community subs.
You got it.
3 days ago. And then 5. And then 25.
He's like, I think he hit 900 or 800 or something like that. Something stupid.
Yeah. 10, 25, 5, and 10. That's a lot.
It's a lot. Lady
Thank you,
Commander
Ghost Hunter.
Gentastic, Queen of all she surveys. They will build monuments in her name. Long may she reign.
Yes.
I mean, I already built a monument in her name. Okran, what's going on? Cannibalistic, what's happening? Flapjack. Flapjack Nickelsack.
I don't know why that sounds dirty, but
Flapjack Nickelsack?
yeah.
I mean, because it has the word sack in
I
it.
think so, right? Why does that word sound so bad?
I feel like it sounds dirty because it is. Flapjack Nickelsack. That's the way that works.
Goopster said, I know it's probably been asked, but any ETA on the spray primer / varnish?
I'm
Soon.
hoping mid-September, but
Hashtags.
yeah. One of those you just gotta wait for. We love teasing you.
It's only as dirty as you let it be. Yeah.
It's also true.
Yeah.
This is also very true.
Yeah. Bring her other brush scoop. That is me. Finally, just a classic stream with mom and dad. None of those meddling kids. Exactly.
Back to the old days.
Mom and dad need a break from the kids sometimes.
Freaking children.
Now we just have you guys.
Just have you guys. Just Jen, me, and Chat.
Yeah.
Harkens back to the good old days.
Now the others are here. Well, Jordan is not in the building today. Goopster said, message received. I'll continue to wait patiently. We appreciate that.
Yeah, we should get the notification on shipping and such here pretty soon. So,
Hello from Toronto.
Toronto? What's going on, Wintermute?
Hello from Phoenix.
Hardcore Hojo says, standard wholesome behavior. From Chat? You know, I know you're lying. Because you said something good about Chat.
Cora's with us.
Bunch
in
of
the
delinquents.
Spirit of best doggo. I mean, Cora is still with us. Oh, just, I see. Because you were saying hello to me and to Jason and to Cora in spirit. Gotcha. Bill Kelly, hello from Springfield, Mass. Hello from Phoenix, Arizona.
Surface of the sun.
Yep. It's not bad today. We're on the other side.
The downslope.
Yep.
We survived July.
Survived July.
That's the hardest thing about Phoenix. Living through a July.
We are very, 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 very close to being away from the 110s. I don't think we'll hit 110 again this year.
I was going to say, for those of you that don't understand, that's not a highway number.
Yeah, that's the temperature. Any chance for inks, said Bill Kelly. Well, we have our transparents, which are better because they're paint.
Yeah, no need for inks when you have our transparent paints. Do the same job, but actually are heavy acrylic in the resin department, so they actually adhere and don't re-wet and things like traditional inks will.
See Fresh, hello.
Mucho Betero. Same single pigment vibrancy and all that. Mix a lot better with your paints.
We starve you of Cora visits. I know. We're just too busy. She is as good as she is. She's still a lot. And
Oh, Cora?
yeah,
Oh, yeah.
would require someone's constant attention.
Oh, yeah.
Any chance of adding slow dissolve gel caps to the product line? We're not ready to discuss that yet. Top secret.
Gel caps? Isn't that like drugs?
Yeah. Fast acting. Got here just in time to hear Jason speaking as much Spanish as I know, said Game Delay. What did he say in Spanish?
Hola, ¿cómo está? Muy burrito.
Muy burrito.
The thing.
Chicken,
Cerveza.
good afternoon. Rogue Gremlin, we use our own. Well, actually, I shouldn't say that. Normally, like Jordan, when Jordan is here, Jordan is our studio painter, he uses our Pro Sable brushes. Jason uses a synthetic brush that is, the one he's using now is just a prototype. But when he's not testing a brush, he uses our synthetic brushes. So we make our own brushes, sable and synthetic. Ooh, all caps.
Caps lock.
Oh. Well, it doesn't like all caps. Huh.
We don't scream at people.
Does not like all caps.
We have a filter that says you can't do all caps.
Oh.
Usually.
So it doesn't want me to yell store.
But it worked, though.
Did not work.
Oh.
I put it back in his regular store.
Why am I seeing it
doesn't
work
show
on
that.
Restream?
That's weird. I for sure typed it twice. Hardcore Hojo, the bomb wicks are your workhorse brushes.
Heck yeah.
They like vintage bomb wicks.
Like, are we talking the same thing here?
I don't know if we're talking the same.
Vintage bomb wicks would be like 2016, 2017 era.
But I mean, even igniters and deck cords would be vintage.
Also true.
Yeah. Papa Chicken, because it's Monday and I need to make sure everyone's paying attention.
Just yelling at people.
That's what I do.
Can't take her anywhere.
Mucho betero is the Spanish thing.
Mucho betero.
Yeah.
Guacamole.
Said, Jason said your transparent paints are mucho betero than inks. I respect everything about that sentence, including the Spanish. We'll have to make sure that Jordan knows he does speak some Spanish, because he has heard you say mucho betero. And things like dos day, stuff like that. He knows some Spanish.
I'm multilingual.
Absolutely are what? Hardcore. FLGS had 0 through 4 of Pro Sables. So those are not bomb wicks. The bomb wicks were, well, the original brushes, original, were just called bomb wicks. And then we had bomb wick igniters, which were sables, bomb wick deck cords, and bomb wick artillery, which were both.
The brushes have admittedly been a little difficult to keep up with. They've changed names a lot.
But I did get the bomb wicks at WFW in 2018 from Jason.
Nice. Warfare Weekend.
Thriftwicks. Thriftwicks were, yes, from the very first Adepticon.
Oh, that's right.
Yeah, they were the.
You could get this
Rejects.
factory seconds for like $3.
Yeah.
$3 to $5. I forgot all about that.
Tadpole Jackson, hello, Hoosiers. Tuesday as in 2-day? No, as in Tuesday. 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 Wintermute said, I've been having intermittent issues with Pro Acryl paint sticking to primer recently. I'm using Vallejo Hobby Spray Primer. Is it just an issue with how I'm thinning the paint, or do I need a thicker layer of primer? Also, would switching to Pro Acryl primer in my airbrush help?
The first and foremost thing is that our paint really wants a matte finish. If you're not getting a true matte finish out of your Vallejo primer, then it will cause issues. I say issues. You can still use it. It will just be a little bit, it'll start to pill up like oil and water on the first pass. And that's okay. Just put let that dry and then put a second layer over it. You'll be back to normal. It won't cause you any problems. Same holds true for like cheaper rattle can primers and things like that.
Why would we do that, game delay? Speaking of rattle can primers, Fuger.
Everybody see the teas this morning? I always get excited when I see the final product.
Hoosiers said I use Pro Acryl primer. It does great under Pro Acryl paint, obviously, but also under other brands I've used. Good. Speaking of teases, we're closer to the heavy body line.
What's that?
Is that a question, Division Ring?
What was it?
Division Ring said, speaking of teases, we're closer to the heavy body line.
I mean, we're getting closer. We're waiting on all the packaging stuff right now. We've not manufactured paint in tubes before, so we've got to do all that stuff.
Ghost Hunter, that is not correct. Not a question. The march of time is in one direction. We must always, by definition, be getting closer to a new product launch.
Yes.
I suppose.
Until all that alien technology comes to the surface.
Every day is a day closer to matte varnish.
This is also true.
It's true. Every day is a day closer to a lot of things.
Very
Division,
very
that's
true.
a sensitive topic, and I know you meant it lightly, but please don't say things like that.
What's that? Oh, eating paint?
No, I'm not even going to say it out loud. Not putting it into the universe. Sugar Rush, yes. The Nova Texture Trainer, the Salamander, and the Nova Orange, Pro Acryl Nova Orange will be on the website right around the same time as the show. Wakamaru, howdy folks. Glad to have some painting to lurk in on during a rough work day. Sorry to hear that. Hopefully you're almost through it. Will Jason be adding any blue to this Warjack?
Yeah, the glow. This is the new Mark IV Signar character jack, the General. And I'll be doing all the glowy bits, the eyes and the electrical stuff, the posts on his back and all that stuff in blue. I'm really liking the magnesium with the kind of bronzy metal that I've done so far. This works really well.
Papa Chicken wants to know if the paints found in Ben and Matt's signature sets count as heavy body paints. Not quite as heavy, right?
It's close, but it's still lower viscosity than a true heavy body paint. They're not paste acrylics. They still come out of the bottle. The paste acrylics we would not be able to put in our bottles, to give you an idea. I mean, I guess you could, but you'd be squeezing the crap out of them to get it out.
You'd have a lot of people who wouldn't like that.
but they are very similar. It's actually kind of what got me thinking. We thought for a long time about doing a heavy body line. We've had the ability to do it with our lab partner for a long time. They were excited about it, but it just took some coordination and figuring out how we would bring that story into frame and feel comfortable with it. So
Nova Open is August 28th through September 1st. Sounds right.
yeah.
When are you going?
Me?
Yeah.
I leave here. I will be there that Thursday, whatever the date is.
Okay.
I have to get my ticket booked today, as a matter of fact.
Because if you were going for the whole time, that would mean that you would probably be my birthday, which
No,
I would very much deserve.
your birthday is like that Tuesday.
Yeah.
I think. See, I know.
And I know when your birthday is too. I just
Didn't care.
I did care. I didn't pick it.
You just didn't care, Chad. He's like, I knew when your birthday was too. Just isn't relevant.
Birthday? Yes. We all have them.
Even the Lord Commander has a birthday.
Nick from Gray Primer said I bought a few golden heavy body acrylics, but I never use them. There's just too much prep compared with liquid paint.
It definitely can be, but our paints are going to work really, really well with just a damp brush. You know how I paint? It's how I painted the whole thing. Like when I did the Crone, I was testing them for matte finish and things like that on the Crone. And this was just done with a damp brush and the paints. No extra thinning that I had to do. Just to water on my brush like I would normally do. They work a champ.
So good. Have you shown off the Nova Orange?
I have shown it on stream. I have not painted with it because I haven't had anything to paint with it, but I could. Figure something out. Right now I'm absolutely loving our magnesium. One of the best metallic colors in the history of metallic colors.
Magnesium, video game archaeologist said magnesium is such an awesome metallic. Papa Chicken said 100.
So good.
D-Fresh, love using magnesium as a mixer to tint silver or gold.
Exactly. That's what I tell everybody. Everybody's like, what kind of color is magnesium? What would I use it for? I was like, all of your metallics.
He has never once painted my nails.
All of your metallics. You paint your nails with it?
No.
You should.
I mean, I could. I don't have anything on my fingernails right now.
Start going home and Jen's going to be like, painting her fingernails and toenails with our paint.
The Vision Ring said, I'll be honest, that brief glimpse left me thinking Nova Orange is just orange. I mean, orange is in the name, so it is definitely an orange.
It's a different orange. I'll show you.
It's not the same as our regular orange, if that's what you're asking. Hey Kerwin, I'm joining late. Did I miss the rattle can talk? No. There hasn't really been any.
Talked a little bit about it, but not that we couldn't repeat. No. If you got questions, feel free to ask. 3 colors and a varnish. Mid-September, late September kind of area is what we're shooting for. Definitely before the end of the year.
Awkwardest panda takes one to know one. Hello.
They are the first color forge paints in the United States. I don't know if we've mentioned that before. So there you go. Tidbit of info.
Wait, what? Can you repeat that?
Wait, who? Wait, what? People have been demanding to have color forged paints in the States. We have been working with them to create a new formula for our paint.
Questions about the size, the price.
500 milliliters, so they're about
I thought you were going to say $500. Oh.
they're tremendously larger by 40 to 50% in some cases than competing brands, including GW, Army Painter, all of that. They're 500 ml cans. Price will be between $18 and $19 retail for all colors. I don't think there will be a price difference between any of the colors. I always reserve the right to change that as we work through all of our math here, but that's our goal right now.
Vector said, can they make them for the EU market?
What's that?
Vector said, can they make them for the EU market?
We may work out a deal where they can use the formula for our paints if it becomes something that people really want, that they would be able to make and distribute in the UK and EU. Yes, but that is not going to happen immediately. The Monument branded sprays will only be for North America. We are not allowed to ship them, of course, because they have to travel by air.
Punisher, seriously, let's not.
They can't travel by air, sorry. They have to travel by boat, so you can't order them if you're outside of the continental North America. Yeah. Meaning Hawaii does not get them either.
Chuck, hello.
The lovely world of hazardous material transport. Oh boy, that magnesium is great.
Were you in the exhibit hall at Gen Con, or were you elsewhere? I only got to spend half an hour in the hall.
I had a ton of meetings. I was not at the booth, but for maybe 4 hours the whole show.
I think he means our booth.
Huh?
I think he means our booth. Where was the booth? Was it in the exhibit hall?
Yeah.
Or was it somewhere else?
No, it was in the exhibit hall.
I've never been there, so I can't answer that question. Because I know that there's some places that are not really in the vendor hall.
Yeah, gaming areas and stuff.
Why must they go by boat? Because it's aerosol.
Hazardous pressurized goods cannot travel by air still. It's an old law that shouldn't really be in effect anymore, but good luck getting it changed. It dates back from when things like propane were big fuel sources that were being transported all over the place, and probably planes were made out of wood.
Poor Hawaii. Take that, island paradise.
What you get. Having great weather all year round.
Right.
And so until we can figure out how to subsidize getting, larger freight shipments done by sea, we can't get them to those areas that are not in the contiguous states here.
Well, I see people saying hello to Malev. So hello, Malev.
Hello, Malev.
Well, I know you're here. Oh, there you are.
Yeah, Colorforge still has a hard time in some areas of Europe, too.
Yeah, somebody just said they have struggled with shipping aerosol paints from the UK to Ireland.
Yeah. Well, it's the EU, right? And so Brexit has caused all sorts of issues. I'm sure that doesn't make it any easier.
Ireland is not part of.
Huh?
Ireland is not part of it. Forget that.
The North is.
Yeah, right. Part of Ireland. Very confusing. Relax Studio wants to know how you highlighted the magnesium.
I haven't yet.
Here you go.
This is just base coating the magnesium right now. Everything else that you see that was done here was done with the gold. Right? So bronze, glazed over green and orange, the dark yellow green and the burnt orange, and then I glazed bronze over that, and then glazed in highlights of rich gold, and then light bronze to get all of what you see with the reflective areas of the other metallics. I'm painting them like non-metallic so that I get to control my reflection. You'll notice that on this side it's still dark like I want it. On this side it's very bright and reflective like I want it. So I'm using metallics, but I'm painting them in a way that is very indicative of non-metallic painting so that I get the the control that I want from a color and value standpoint, but can still use metallic paints that do some of the heavy lifting for you. So it allows you to paint a little bit quicker overall. Great way to do it. A lot of people had their minds blown when we did it the other day. They were like, wait, what? Because we were glazing with the bronze, and yes, you can just use them like paints. That's all they are. You don't have to treat them any differently. And you can get some really, really neat visuals out of metallic paints by glazing over opaque colors. You'll notice like here on this cover here, as I rotate it, you'll see that dark yellow green start showing out, but then in certain lights it looks like it's just gold, right? And that's because it's all glazed over it. Same with the orange, right? You can see that I did the orange in kind of the mid-tone right before going into the shadows, and so you'll see that warmth of orange and then green, but in certain angles you don't see it at all. So it gives it a real neat kind of iridescent reflective nature to it without being too over the top.
Malev said he's looking forward to more orange in the future. Relax Studio said, how do you know what color to glaze the metallic with? You used burnt orange and yellow green. Why?
When I'm doing golds, the green will give it more of a tarnished shadow look. You don't want to use just a black, right? And you need to have something that gives a little bit of color, and so that yellow green is one of my favorites. I use it when doing non-metallic golds quite a bit. So, oh, I bet Chris stole all those guys, didn't he? I was gonna show you, but somebody done stole all my models for photos. Creep. This guy's got it based on there, but it'll be tough to show you what it looks like afterwards. But I use the dark yellow green as the base for all the gold. This guy is an assault marine, so he has a yellow helmet anyway. But I use the dark yellow green on all my blood angels as the base for the non-metallic gold. Unfortunately, I don't have any of the finished models here because legit Chris stole them to photograph.
Coconut cheese, just give us a second and we will get to that next.
But same thing here. He's a lot of purple and green, so you'll see a little bit of the hint of green in the shadows because I based him with yellow green as well, and then dark purple for the original base, right? So it just makes gold look a little bit more natural if you're trying to go for something that would be a little dirty, worn outside, not jewelry, and polished to be beautiful all the time. It has a little bit of a tarnish, but gold tends to tarnish towards black. And we wouldn't really do that when painting. It just looks more like shadow. So the green helps a lot. Purples, sometimes blues, but I truly prefer purple and green. And the orange then brings back some warmth to that whole structure.
It is upsetting when employees do their job. Game Delay said Christopher needs to stop. Can you show a comparison of dark emerald and dark jade, please, for coconut cheese?
Yeah, let me paint this sword base real quick. I've got some paint out on the palette I don't want to lose. I'll do that, and I'll do the new Nova orange next to orange. Cool. Keep reminding me, though.
Okay, I will. And then maybe while you're finishing that, you can answer this. Papa Chicken said, do you consider Sanguinius as one of your best painted models?
No, I was done pretty quick. Yeah. I consider him very tabletop-ish, actually. It still looks good. It's always hard, right? Because the way that I paint uses the same starting goal for every model, and I've done this for so long that I don't really know how to paint any other way. So, even stuff like this where we're trying to go fast with metallics, it still has, it'll still be a very high tabletop quality if I were to paint the whole army like this. But it's pretty quick for me, because all the purple's airbrush. I'm literally just filling in the gaps with metallic colors now, washes and glazing and stuff like that. But it's pretty simple. Once I highlight the purple, the whole thing will really start to pop.
Kanath the Red, he's using a synthetic brush. He's actually testing a brush. It's a sample brush that was sent.
Yeah, we have a family of synthetic filament that we're looking at that's lower cost, so we could do some beginner brushes. And I've been beating the crap out of them for months now. Before we'll sell a brush, I really like to get a feel for what the longevity of it is using my style, knowing that if I can get, 3 to 6 months paint time out of a brush, which is what I'm getting out of these.
Without cleaning it.
I don't clean them at all during that time either. Then I feel pretty secure that everybody else could get, a good, amount of time of use out of them, regardless of how heavy-handed they are and things like that. Some people will say, I hate your synthetic brushes because they curl quick or whatever, and that's generally because they have a very heavy hand. I have a fairly soft touch when painting, so my brushes don't curl as fast. So I like to test them for a lot longer to make sure that for no matter what or how you paint, you should get good longevity out of them. But I only use our synthetics. I don't even on my table have a sable. Whereas Jordan paints just with our sables.
And Jordan is our other painter. He's not here today. But past streams, you could always go back and look and see. They paint side by side on screen. To see what his brush looks like as well.
But in the last 4 or 5 years, if you've seen me paint anything, it's been with our synthetic brushes probably.
Sugar Rush said I'd like to see Jason, and I assume you mean Jordan, do a 1-hour challenge, unless there's someone else named Jay that I don't know.
Like how much I could paint in an hour?
That's what I'm guessing. Like a speed paint kind of thing.
I feel like, what's the fastest model that I've painted in a while? There have been models that we finished in like an entire stream.
Yeah, I said finish a model in 1 hour.
In an hour, I wouldn't even try that. I wouldn't be happy with it. It'd be for the lulls that we would even do it, which I'm not opposed to, but I don't paint for lulls. I think of what would be one that we did really quick. So many models.
Nick,
I mean, we painted this guy, actually. We painted this guy in just over an hour. That was all when we were showing how to use all of the Pro Acryl paints, including the transparents, with our glazed wash medium, when we just came out with the glazed wash medium. This is what the kids would call slap chop nowadays, but this was done before slap chop was a term. Where I just did the value highlighting on it and then used the paints, and this is all 100% done like the paints or speed paints, because you can mix our glazed wash medium with them to turn them into speed paints. And this was just all looks the way it is due to color selection. So that was good. I didn't finish the teeth, and some of the bone area I could have stood to do more with, and I think we did the base the next day, but the bulk of the miniature we did. I mean, we have painted that quick. The models that Jen and I both painted, those were done really fast too. But yeah, not really a thing for me, man. I don't understand the whole speed painting thing, like where I see these things like, look what I did in 10 minutes. Like, first of all, that's generally a lie, right? Your prep time is going to be longer anyway. But why? I don't understand that.
Nick from Gray Primer said, I'm yet to find a synthetic that doesn't curl. I think that's more a me thing, but listening to this, I'm excited to try a monument one. I
mean, all synthetics curl. That's just the nature of the beast. Yep. You can watch a video that I did that's called Chasing the Tip. That'll help you immensely, right? So you can see this guy I've been painting with for a long time. Right? And it has, like you can see there, it has a little bit of a teeny weeny hook off to one direction, but it won't affect your painting. It's a big wives' tale that like having a curved tip does anything anyway.
Well, think about it. You can use that to your advantage.
Well, it just never even comes into play, really. So whenever I have, like, I've got a good point right there, but any brush, when you start painting with it, the point starts to flatten out. It does so more if you have a heavy hand and you push further. See how it starts to square and blunt the tip there? Eventually, you'll be looking at it like that, and it isn't as sharp as it was. Then curled hairs have a problem because you're fighting this whole blunt tip idea, because that's just the nature of a brush, right? The more you do this, it'll snap back into its shape, but the point will start to spread. But look what happens when you rotate that same brush 90 degrees. Look at that point. That point's crazy. So now you just rotate 90 degrees, paint with that for a few strokes, maybe 10, maybe 12, maybe 2, depending on how hard you paint. And then again, it starts to split out, and then you rotate it 90 degrees, and you're always chasing that tip. right? That's what it says in my video. That way you've always got a fine line, but when your fine line starts spreading because of the nature of a brush, just rotate it around, get the point back. And you'll constantly see me doing that as I'm painting, right? I'll do a couple of brush strokes and I'll rotate around until I get that point back. If I need those fine details, generally when I'm painting, like when I'm doing with the metallics, I don't care, right? Having a spread to the brush is better because it gives me more coverage, right? But when I'm doing textures like hair and things like that, and blending, I will want that tip. And so I just constantly rotate it around until I get it. So literally the curve at the end of the brush, I mean, seriously, I don't know. Maybe you could argue, but I don't think I paint bad. I use 100% synthetic brushes, and most of them have curves to them.
He's an okay.
It just doesn't matter. It literally doesn't matter. I've been
day.
painting for over 45 years. It doesn't matter. You can paint to any level you want with the worst brush on the planet if you get good and comfortable with it. The nice thing about having a tool that is much better quality is it will allow you to learn better instead of forcing you into bad habits, right? And our brushes won't force you into bad habits. That was my main goal with them. They're still brushes. They're still disposable commodities.
Yes.
There's no brush that's intended to last you forever. The only one that'll last forever is the one you never use. And so when you go in like that, you get the feel for, oh yeah, it doesn't matter. I'm going to use it. I'm going to get a good lifespan out of it.
Wait, before you pick anything else up, can you show off those
Oh, yeah,
colors?
I need to do paint color.
Dark emerald and dark jade.
I'm going to do orange first because that was on the plate first.
Okay.
People were asking about it. Oh, I did open this one already. Ah, the Nova Orange is so good. I think people are gonna find Nova Orange as a great skin additive because it's desaturated. It's not. It's like a orange sherbet, right? As opposed to our orange, which is for lack of as close as you can get to a single pigment orange, right? It's very vibrant. I don't know if I have a model here. Question. Good old prime Space Marine. Oh, these are not going to be... these are probably not great. Painted over black. It is orange. So it gets the skin. This is orange. Our standard orange. Just a good old-fashioned middle-of-the-road orange. Not too warm. Not too red, not too yellow. Right? And this is Nova Orange. Which the camera's not going to like.
It doesn't, yeah, orange.
They look totally different. They're totally different, yet it looks... I should go get the card. Here, I'll show you on the card. So the card is Nova Orange. Oh yeah, you can see it now on my skin.
Oh, now you can see it.
See?
That they're different, yep.
Once they dry. So Nova Orange on the card, orange, burnt sienna. Right, so it's almost like a flesh tone. That's why I think people are really going to love it.
Carcassonne Nova Orange is a new color. It is it's the signature color for the Nova Open, right? It's like on all their marketing and things like that.
Yeah.
So it's
the Nova color.
Yeah, that's why it's called Nova Orange. We sponsor their painting competition, and so this year we
dark
developed
emerald and dark jade we wanted.
Nova Orange paint and a texture trainer that uses their little mascot, which is not a dragon, but I call it
salamander. They'll still call it a dragon.
Coming out at Nova, but also on our website around the same time.
The dark emerald and dark jade.
It's the color your wife wants to paint your living room.
You can kind of see here on the caps what the difference is. The dark emerald is leaning more into its greenish yellow, and the dark jade on the left is more blue.
Just the Nova Orange. Own color. Panic Bomb said it looks a slight bit peachy.
Yeah, that's exactly right. So dark jade. And dark emerald. Plus, the dark emerald is also satin, so very noticeable on those.
Spilled paint pot. Hello. We have a solution.
See, you know, but it's like Orange Julius. Spilled what's going on. I'll leave those on my hand. I won't wipe them off. So just in case people aren't here that asked.
Well, Coconut Cheese was asking about the dark jade and the dark emerald. And
Good.
Said nice, thank you very much.
And I think everybody else
And
was
a lot
asking
of
about
people
orange.
were wanting to, yeah. Hey, Schmid. Hello. It might just be you and me, game delay.
What's that?
Game delay said we have a solution, which is what I said when Spilled Paint Pot came into the chat.
Oh.
And Game delay said it took me a solid 10 seconds to understand your comment. And I said it might just be the two of us.
Nerds. Jen's a nerd.
You suddenly crave Orange Julius, which doesn't exist around you anymore. Oh no.
Does it even exist anywhere?
I don't know, but you can Google it. Probably
like at the outlet mall.
It might be still at a mall somewhere. But our cooking teacher, when I was a teacher, our cooking teacher that was always the very first project, first cooking project of the year. Get them familiar with ingredients and measuring and tools and things like that. And they would make Orange Julius. So you can make them. It's pretty simple. I think it's just like orange juice and maybe a little powdered sugar, maybe a little cream or something. I don't know.
Seeing all the things I missed.
Your outlet mall has Auntie Anne's, but they don't even do jalapeno pretzels anymore. Lame. Orange Julius and Dairy Queen are owned by the same company. See them comboed a lot. Yeah, there was one at the outdoor mall out in Gilbert. That's the only one I can think of.
Oh. By the highway?
Yeah.
Oh, that's right.
By the Dillards. Had to Google Orange Julius. It never made it to Ireland, really?
Orange Julius wasn't that popular? What?
I don't know. It seems like it's just a thing that would be international. Awkwardish Panda, it's your birthday. Happy birthday.
Happy birthday to Awkwardish. Hope you're having a great day. And for any of our August birthdays, you share a month with Jen.
Yeah. But not a sign. You share a sign with Jordan.
The month of Jen. Sword is very complicated. There's a lot going on. You're gonna need the sculptor to step away from the sculpting tools. A sword literally just has to be a big piece of metal on a hilt.
Panda said, today I hit 21 years experience in being 21.
Wait, you're 42? Is that what that means? I think that's what that means.
They don't have Dairy Queen, Wendy's, Popeyes, or Olive Garden. Plenty of McDonald's and Burger King, though, in Ireland.
How do you even live without Olive Garden?
I could do it very easily.
I don't even understand you.
Valandar the Red said, I like saying I'm 54th level myself.
Level 54. Unfortunately, I put all my XP points into wisecracks.
He really said, 4+ years older than Panda. Quick, Jason, make me feel young. Say something about the 70s.
Bastard. Back when I was a kid. Get off my lawn, game delay. Back in my day.
We could go to the 7-Eleven with a note from our parents to buy cigarettes.
7-Eleven used to be open 24 hours. 7-Eleven. It was closed for 1 hour.
Too many real Italian restaurants. There's no space left for Olive Garden. I mean...
Whoa, them's fighting words. You trying to
Olive
tell
Garden
me that
always finds room.
bottomless soup, salad, and breadsticks is not the most Italian thing you've ever heard of? Wait a minute.
Relax Studio, so thank you for the gold tones with the green and orange.
Yeah.
I think when you explained. What glaze would you use on silver for interest?
Depends on what you're trying to go for, right? Silver is a metal that sometimes you're going to want it to be more shiny-ish, so blues and purple undertones are really good for that. Jade is amazing underneath silver. The same orange, because the orange heat, like from burnt orange, can give it a little bit of warmth and reflective nature to it, but it can also look like rust if you go too much. So be careful with the orange, right? So usually like in that jades, blues, purples kind of range, lean into things that have blue as a component to them more. Whereas with gold, I lean into things that have greens that are yellowy greens more. Brown looks really good if you want it to be really tarnished. Silver, very dirty white metal works great.
Nato's Foreign Life said, sometimes I don't want authentic. Sometimes I want bottomless soup and breadsticks.
Yes.
Exactly.
I don't ever go to Olive Garden thinking of it as an Italian restaurant. It is literally a soup and breadsticks restaurant.
Yes.
The best soup and breadsticks restaurant.
A. Kerwin said, a new teacher at my school was born in the year 2000. The year 2000!
How's that even possible?
They must still be a child.
That was literally just yesterday.
I had in Facebook, they show you like on this day, however many years ago, this is what you posted. That's the only good thing about Facebook for me. And
I have a lot of fun with those.
So right at this time of year, back to school. So I'm going back and, seeing all of the posts I wrote about first days of school and things like that. And one of them was, fun fact, this is the last year that any of my students were born in the 1900s. Because like the following year, they were all going to be 2000, and from there on 2000 on. It's pretty crazy when that kind of math hits
That's
you.
nuts to think about.
Yeah. Well, and that was a while ago, and they were 14. So obviously that was 2014. 13 probably.
But yeah, because now you're getting into a time where it's like people born in the 2010s is the norm.
Valandar the Red, we don't have many Taco Bells here. They just can't compete with the large number of amazing taquerias. Shocking for Memphis. We still have Taco Bell everywhere, and we're in Arizona. So
yeah, that doesn't. The reason there's so many Taco Bells is that's where all the Mexican people eat. They eat there, and Filiberto's, Umberto's. We have all these restaurants called the Bertos.
Bertos.
Yeah, we've got
Panda.
Taco Bell. We have the best Mexican food in the United States, probably. And yet Taco Bell reigns supreme here.
Everywhere. Panda Express isn't Chinese food. It's just Panda Express, and sometimes that's what I want. Exactly.
I have to admit,
I don't ever want it. But
yeah, I have to admit, Jen never wants it, and I don't either anymore. The last time I went, it was like, are you kidding me? That's horrible.
there are better fast Chinese places that are just as convenient, or in our area at least.
That's what I find with it, is that it's really not fast nor convenient anymore. I don't like Pei Wei because Pei Wei is too sweet. All their sauces are way too sweet. But Panda Express, everything always seems to be like, the best word I can describe it with is stale.
Oh, wow.
Everything there is stale.
First movie I saw at the cinema was Ghostbusters, which turns 40 this year.
Was what?
Turns 40 this year. Ghostbusters.
Wow. That's crazy.
The best Mexican food in the U.S. My next door neighbor's abuela has practically adopted me and sends over homemade Mexican food every couple weeks. That's like everybody's abuela lives next door here, so.
What's that?
I said like everybody's got an abuela next door here. Like,
yeah.
We have access to great Mexican food. Coconut cheese, what sounds disgusting? When Mexican people want American food, they go to Taco Bell.
Yeah, basically. It's just quick. Open all the time. But like Taco Bell is like Cheez-It tacos. What the hell?
Yeah. It's still Chinese from Panda. Yeah, anything from Panda Express. Green Mountain said, how are you liking the 3D printed War Machine? Have any layer line issues?
There's a few, but no, nothing that gives me any pause. But again, I'm the kind of guy that I don't really care about that as much. Everything was easy to clean that I wanted to clean, and anything beyond that, I've grown to realize after doing this for 40 plus years that if the model looks good from the point of view that I want to look at it, like right here, I don't care about anything else. Honestly, I don't. There's like a slip line right here where the plate slipped. See that line in the sword? I don't even care. We'll probably highlight it and make it seem like a gash from beating people over the head. I don't care. Battle damage, whatever. At this point in time, for me as a hobbyist, one of the biggest bonuses is not having to spend much time building the model. I just don't care about building anymore. Now, that being said, I don't want things that have a lot of sprue pieces on them and warp designs and, like slippage. I don't really like a lot of the resin models nowadays. People are getting super lazy as they're making their resin. We've seen it from every manufacturer. Lots of mold slip, lots of flash, I really just wish that resin molding would go the way of the buffalo. But I think as technologies like 3D printing get better and better, that's what we'll start seeing. Because all of these models are pretty good. I mean, they have a lot of undercuts and details and stuff, and none of it gets soft. So I really like that. I mostly don't like the way the resin is very shiny because it just plays with your eyes until you prime it, but it's good. This one has got 5 different resin colors on it, so it's a little wonky, weird. But neat models. I'm excited to get painting on the Shadow Flame shard. These are some cool models. Again, my biggest gripe with 3D printing and digital sculpting is that the sculptors go crazy and put too many details on the model. Generally, those sculptors are not great painters, and so they don't make the model for the paintability, and that's where it gets lost in translation a little bit. There's too much stuff on some models. But that's just an old man yells at clouds kind of problem. They paint up really nicely when they have a ton of detail like that, and then you like base coat them, hit them with a wash. They're great for that, so I can't complain too heavily.
I think the original Star Wars might have been the first movie I saw in a movie theater too.
What came first, Star Wars or Close Encounters?
That I don't know.
Anybody remember?
I could Google it.
Chat will know.
Someone out there is already probably Googling it and will answer. Video game archaeologist said Star Wars.
What's that?
We okay out there?
What just happened? Didn't sound good.
That didn't sound good. Star Wars.
Star Wars was 77, right?
Yeah.
And then, yeah, so Star Wars may have been my first.
Summer, Close Encounters was winter, 77.
I feel like I went to lots of movies before that at the drive-in because my parents were big drive-in buffs. So I would go to the drive-in and watch movies.
When did Grease come out? Because I for sure saw that in the theater. Go to drive-in. (1978). Then I saw Star Wars first because I definitely saw Star Wars.
Yeah, Star Wars, and because we had a theater closer to our house, and my friend's mom would take us.
Gabe, what'd you guys just break? We heard that.
Sounded like they dropped the bin of Legos.
There's a bin of Legos?
No, but that's what it sounded like. That's what worries me, is that we
Like,
don't have
what?
Legos. It sounded like a bin of Legos, which we do not have, which is why I'm worried.
Yeah. Gabe said smells like Up Dog in here.
What up, dog?
Dropped a bin of I'm not even gonna finish saying that one.
But no, I've really been enjoying these models. They're the same old, good vibe of War Machine. As much as I might complain about, holy hell, doohickeys everywhere, too many rivets, that kind of stuff, it is War Machine, and it is what makes me so stoked.
Pen made that loud noise? Said he dropped a pen on on the tile in the hallway, and it was on one of the cracked ones, so it sounded really loud.
Right. I feel like that is
a
the sound
suspicious.
of a Gabe lying. Or it was a whole bin of Legos. I don't know.
What Tomato said they brought you Legos. They were hoping to surprise you.
That'll be a surprise, all right.
No
It's
more
like playing
surprise.
52 pickup.
How was everyone's weekend? Anyone do anything fun?
I wrote a contract. It was a blast.
But it'll be something that benefits all of you guys and will be fun for you. He did it for you.
I do it for you,
You
chat.
guys.
It really
Painted
did take me
and
like
painted
7
some
hours yesterday, I think.
It was quite a day. Spent it recovering from Gen Con and sculpting an elven general.
Light. Sounds good.
Cannibal played Minecraft, read books. Panda played D&D, watched some Olympics, did a lot of painting ahead of Nova. Zombie Knowledge finished an infinity model.
Very cool.
T. Schmidt took a bunch of kids to the climbing gym for his youngest birthday on Saturday.
Nice. Was that fun?
Game Delay played Kinfire Delve again.
I don't know what that means.
Their weekend, such a good and bite-sized cooperative game. Chuck can testify. Watt Tomato played some Star Wars Unlimited and some Diablo 4. Killer Tomato is up to level 82. Oh, that's Watt Tomato is the killer. I assume. Video game archaeologist said we upgraded our chicken chicken coops run this weekend, so no more coyote snacks will be made off my egg machines.
The egg machines. I love it.
Spilled paint pot family all made it home from Peru this weekend, so we're doing back to school shopping. Zero hobby time. Not an Angel Heralda's.
No.
Nick
Well,
from
we already
Grape-
have that one.
Nick from Grape. Well, not a signature series. Sorry,
No.
I didn't read the whole thing. Nick from Great Primer went a bit mad with a weed whacker. The Brambles fought back.
Weed Whacker 2, The Reckoning.
Hardcore Hojo said I should note I stole Jason's gold recipe on this model during my weekend painting session.
Nice. How'd it work
Not
out for you?
stealing when he gives it to you freely.
How'd it work out for you? Yeah, it's true. I don't charge for this, by the way.
You worked, so exciting. I mean,
It may feel a little bit like you're paying with your soul when you're on the stream, but it's actually free.
working, though perhaps not exciting while it happens, hopefully allows you to do exciting things, gives you the opportunity. Hardcore said it works like a charm.
Good.
Weed Whacker 2, The Whackening.
The Whackening. The Re-Whackening. Man, that magnesium looks really good with that bronze. I honestly don't want to do anything to it. Right? Magnesium just looks so good. The darker metallics look great without having to do anything to them. You could be lazy and just put a wash on them and then highlight them with the same color again if you wanted to, but I can't do that.
I Killed Fett said if you had to make a small painting kit to bring as something to do while flying or on vacation, what would it be?
Well, my Go Bag Neo is the key, 48 colors. I just pick the colors of the thing I'm going to paint while I'm gone. And my brush case, a lamp, a water cup if I'm going someplace that I don't trust they have a good water cup. But,
No.
I mean, use a plastic cup.
To clarify, you probably cannot paint on an airplane because of the liquid requirements or liquid limitations.
Yeah, on the
Only
plane is a
take
little rough.
tiny
I've never
bit
tried
on
that.
the airplane.
I feel like they'd be mad at me.
You can pack it.
Probably be mad at me.
Division Ring is headed to Nashville for a work trip soon. Been quietly arguing with myself whether or not to bring some paint with me because the other people on the trip are dedicated outdoorsy types and I have no desire to be outside. Said
Yeah.
in 30-degree weather, but that sounds really cold, so I think that's some crazy.
Take your stuff, lay it out. I love because we get pictures from lots of people who have bought Neos and Evos and
on
they travel,
vacations.
a lot of traveling workers, and they'll be in their hotel room with their paint set up, and it almost makes me jealous.
A lot of hotel painting going on. My favorites are the ones that we see where people are sitting out by the lake.
Oh yeah, the guy that does it
Yeah,
on
the
his
one
boat.
guy on a boat who lives. I think he lives on a boat. But I saw one not too long ago where it was just someone sitting out by the lake.
Yeah, we've got a guy in England who may live on a boat who's always sending pictures with his Evo out in various locations on his boat deck. I think that's great.
T. Schmidt said I got to introduce a non-painter to painting on Sunday. Got him to paint a whole space marine.
That's awesome. Love to hear it. Need more of that.
Hardcore said I know painting handles can be DIY'd, but our Monument Hobbies painting handles possible in the future.
So we've thought about it. So my product development mentality, as many people are sick of hearing me say in chat, is if I can do it in a way that I feel like is better or offers something new and interesting to a product category, I'll make it. We have that. We have that as a model holder for painting. We have one. I went all the way through to getting it tooled and ready to cast or mill and then I backed out. And it was because of cost, that in order to do the things I wanted to do, the cost of it was just too excruciatingly high. I mean, I literally wouldn't be able to sell it for less than maybe $75. And I just didn't see the value in it. When I make a product and I look at it and go, would I pay that for this? I'd be like, no, because I can put it on a cork.
Yeah.
And I can get a bunch of corks for $75 and be in just as good a shape, because I have never had a paint holder in all the years I've painted that I cared enough about to, want to use it all the time. And there's good ones out there for lower price than that, perform the job okay. So again, for me, it's a tough question because I don't.
Hardcore said that's very respectable. Nick said, I'm staying in a cabin in a safari park next month, so I'll share a pic of me painting with lions in the background.
With lions? That'd be awesome.
I need to see that. That sounds very cool.
That'll be super awesome.
Yeah, there's tons of things that, you can improvise, right? Like the corks, craft paint bottles, Valendar is saying, like pill bottles are usually the right size.
Yep.
All kinds of stuff.
A lot of people use old paint pots, whatever.
Yep.
Whatever works. Corks are neat. Corks come in tons of sizes. They're the right shape to grip. They're very ergonomic because you want them wider at the bottom. Works a champ and doesn't break the bank.
Gentleman next to your booth at Adepticon had some decent hobby holders. Cannot for the life of me remember the name of his company. Do you remember who was next?
Gabe will remember.
Gabe, who was in the booth next door at Adepticon.
They made dice and stuff, I think, right?
Expended Mentos gum containers. Yeah. The people are resourceful. Norse Foundry.
Yes.
That's the one. Thank you, Gabe.
All right, I'm
Oh, wait, no. That maybe was Gen Con. He said, oh, wait, Adepticon. No.
Oh, Adepticon.
No, I don't remember the name.
No, I don't know who that would have been at Adepticon. Game Envy, were they close to us?
Panda said I started with pill bottles, and because I needed more weighted handle, I filled them with stuff. Like sand and pebbles.
I was going to say just rocks and dirt from outside.
Yeah. 9th level games was next door.
Oh, I don't know.
Everyone pick up their classic game. Kobolds ate my baby. He did have some cool stuff though. It was a smaller booth. Okay, so it wasn't the one you just said. It was a smaller booth. Wooden turned handles, very plain and simple, but quite nice. Jolly Lark handles, said Christmas.
But we said Adepticon now, right?
I think that's Adepticon. Yeah. A. Kerwin said, what is the putty you use to stick the model to the cork?
It's just poster tack. We buy it from Amazon in these big sheets. Looks like chicle, gum. You just pull a bunch of it off, wad it up in a ball, stick it on there. For big bases like this that have the magnet slots on them, you got to use quite a bit, right? But I use these for everything. Here's one that just has the poster tack. The poster tack will last damn near forever.
Yeah, you can reuse it.
And on Amazon, you can get a bag of corks. The places that supply them on Amazon are always changing. So I found that when I find a good deal, I buy a lot. Because by the time I go back, they're not available on Amazon anymore.
Green Mountain said, any recommendations for plinth sellers? We get asked this a lot.
So, believe it or not, Jacob Jansen is getting back in the plinth game. He came on and talked about that. So if you want real wood and turned wood and acrylic, he works really great with that stuff. I think that's great. My honest opinion is if you need fast plinths, there's a guy on Etsy. I'm never going to remember his name, but he does 3D printable. You can do them in FDM or in resin 3D, supported resin 3D printing, and you can print them out. You buy the file for like $12, and you can use it over and over and over and over and over again. And the file, he has a group of files that I think are like $20, and it comes with 5 or 6 different styles of plinths. And because you can scale them to print, you can make them however big you want. So I really think that the future of plinths is that, because you can get cylinders, rectangles, slants, curved backs, you know, stuff like that. Well, I would show you one, but Chris stole it. So
he's here in chat, so
he steals my stuff constantly.
Maybe one will appear.
Constantly.
Maybe not.
Probably not. All right.
Oh, they're just right there.
Oh no, I just need the. Oh, are all of them? I need the Guardian. Do you have the Guardian, the model?
One? Yeah.
No, the Guardian is the one with the
one.
big plinth back on it.
This
It may be the
tall
one that you're
right
trying to
here.
shoot. Have you already shot it? Yeah, that guy. This is a 3D printed plinth that I printed out. Right.
That's cool. Here are your other plinths too.
On a. Oh, I don't. Oh, okay, great. I don't need them. You can take those back over there if you need them for photoing.
Mm-hmm.
This is a huge one, right? And I 3D printed that, and it's got the kind of the. Yeah, it's just 3D printed resin. You can see all the supports. Yeah, took like 12 hours to print it. It prints fairly tall, maybe 12 or 13 hours to print, but it worked really well. And I think this is the future of plinths, because you can. I scaled this way up. It was not this big. It was made for much smaller miniatures, like for this guy, and I scaled it way up.
Yeah, it feels like you could do really like anything.
Yeah.
Have any kind of.
Yeah, you can take this and you can stretch it.
Yeah.
And make it wider, make it really narrow, short, tall. It's just the way to go, because with other plinths, to find the exact thing you want is really hard.
Yeah. Papa Chicken said, "Can I see the transition from paint to model where the power lines meet the backdrop?"
Oh. The power lines hit the backdrop right where the crows are. And it looks weird this way, right? Because the angle it hits it, but then when you look at it face on, I nailed it.
Did you just paint those freehand crows? Or
Yeah,
were
they're
they-
just all freehand.
Okay.
The clouds, the rain,
not-
the city, all of that grass, everything's freehand painted on the back like a canvas. My olden days style art.
I love that one. Me too, Game Delay. It's weird.
What's that?
Game Delay said, "I like the word plinth. I
Plinth.
always feel like I'm making a mistake when I say it." Plinth.
Plinth.
Green Mountain wants to know what we use for 3D printers.
We have EPACs, X10s, and the ones we're using the most now are the. Oh boy, I don't remember. Frozen Mega 8Ks or 12Ks or something. Real big plate, like 14-inch build plates, monstrous. But they're made by Frozen. Sonic Mega 8S or I don't know. Stupid names. You really enjoy Flibbity Gibbets and Booble Snots. Booble Snoots. I like
Booble
Booble
Snoots.
Snoots. The mini 8K is what all the YouTubers say if you just want to print minis. I was not happy with the Sonic or the Frozen Sonic small platform stuff. I found that the Z-axis was too weak to really perform well on miniatures that have large cross sections. They would always pull and warp. They on their big printers, they obviously do bigger, bulky material. So those have worked pretty well. But Brennan, our man on the streets, would tell you the deal on all that. He runs all our 3D printing. But we've been very happy with the bigger frozen printers. We had the Sonic Mini for a long time, and I would throw that thing in the garbage just as soon as look at it.
Philip said, thoughts on the new Sanguinor model?
I think it's perfect for my Blood Angels army because it allows a Primaris scale version of that model. You know, so that and the Sanguinary Guard I think are neat. I won't use those stupid Primaris backpacks or anything, but you put the old bits, the old Blood Angels bits on them. The thing I'm really excited for is the Sanguinary Priest model. That's one I need because I've done for my Blood Angels, I've got all these guys that are Primaris size, but they're in the old armor. So the nice thing with those new Blood Angels is that they're Primaris size Marines because they're Primaris, but they have the specialized armor, right? It all has like the rib cages and the very, Baroque kind of Greco-Roman feel to it that would go well with the rest of my army. But I have a bunch of these backpacks that are 3D printed that I can put on there. So the old style backpack instead of that new Primaris garbage. Photon Mono X 6K has been far better than I've ever needed. Oh, cool.
Good afternoon. Dark name. Vozlek. Hello.
It like blends right in to the blue background of our
Takes a minute.
chat
I have to put the
screen.
mouse over it to be able to see it.
Gotta highlight it. All right, I got a bunch of bronzy stuff that I need to paint again. So you'll see me do this this gold bronze workup. We're going to start with dark yellow green.
Mathis said, this looks like the color scheme that first made you get into making your own paint.
Mathis, in the back of my mind, the whole time I'm painting this guy, I keep thinking, this is damn near where it all started. It really is. Mathis is the gentleman who owned the model that I was painting that started Acryl. He owned the Emperor's Children 30K army that he commissioned from me. And it was purple and white and gold, all using metallics because he wanted me to use all the Forge World colors and paint them just like the studio scheme and all that. So that's what we did. And in the midst of that, we were painting Eidolon, first captain of the Emperor's Children. And his cape was giving me fits using paint company who will not be named white. And so I stopped and on stream mixed up some white that I could airbrush and brush with that wouldn't cause those problems. And everybody freaked out in chat and was like, we'd buy that from you. And so Jen and I started making it. And that is what you have as titanium white these days. So blame Mathis for Acryl. He doesn't know it. And he's not getting a royalty, but, I'll drop you a byline there, Mathis. That was a fun army to paint. That was back when I was only playing Infinity. But the old Forge World Heresy stuff was kind of cool. It was so different back then. Now, of course, they're doing it in plastics and such, and it's...
Chamberlain said, it's okay, Jason. You can say who made the white paint. It was Panda Express.
What?
I don't know.
Anyway,
Yes,
now that we've met in person, it all makes sense, but...
Old Paint Pot said that's a cool origin story. Sean O'John said that story never gets old.
It was so funny because I was so... If you were around back then, you'd know how reluctant Jen and I were. I said live on stream, no, we'll never make paint.
No.
So this white's all we're to say, you need to make more colors. No, we're never going to make paint. Why would we do that? There's so many good colors, so many good manufacturers. And then we got so good at making the white paint, and the white paint got so big and people wanting it and enjoying it, and we were like, oh, but what if we could do other colors that felt like this when you paint with them? And that's what made Pro-Acryl a thing.
A few years ago, we did a post. The trend was, like the social media trend was
How it started.
how it's going. And we had one of our fulfillment employees at the time took this really cool picture of a tray of paint in all different colors from top down. It was just a really cool picture. And I was like, oh my God, we need to do this. And Ruben, who is our very first employee, who still works with us, had a bottle of the original special white. And so we brought it in, took a picture of it, put the side by side, and I posted it. And it came up earlier today. We were talking about the memories on Facebook, and your post from this day, however many years ago. And I posted that a couple years ago, and we went from this one color to these 63.
63.
When I posted, I hardly ever post anything on Facebook, and I don't usually repost those memories. But I was like, well, that's ironic because we are exactly double that right now. And it's been just a couple years, I think. So.
Yep, 126. Yep. So much for not making paint.
Yeah. We're in it now.
I guess we're here for a while.
Sean O'John said, such a testament to the entrepreneur spirit. That is how small business is even a thing.
It starts with, hey, I just want to do something that I'm passionate about for a lot of people.
Yeah.
And then, I'm a firm believer, if you love what you do and you have a good energy about it, which is hard to not have if you love what you do, right? Then other people will catch on to that. They'll be like, oh, these people really believe in what they do. I should check it out. Definitely, if I have any interest in it.
What we do. That's why we're here every day on stream with you guys. Romeo G said, that's how I started. Bought your titanium white, loved it, and just bought the 250 set and have binned my other paints.
Awesome.
Thank you.
Thank you so much. That's awesome. Yeah, we get a lot of people that are like, well, yeah, of course, that's what I did. I'm like,
that mega set is like the way. Someone asked today, and I was like, get the mega set. Like, you are not going to find it.
It's a hell of a deal.
It is such a good deal.
It's like 20% off our normal price, just all the time. And we don't plan on taking it away. We've wanted to do it for a long time. And just to have an easy way for people that want to jump on board with all the colors that, make the line super powerful, that's the way to do it. I'm running out of spots. Have I told you guys I need to clean my palette?
What? You?
Have I mentioned?
No way.
Have I mentioned to you that my palette is a mess? When you're doing this, I said I use orange and green and all that. You don't have to blend anything and be messy as you want to be with it. Super easy. I just want the orange to kind of live where my mid-tone would hit the shadow for whichever direction I'm painting. But little messy stripes.
Fresh, we are glad that you took a chance on Pro-Acryl as well.
I really look at it that way. And yeah, it's like, when you're talking about a company in a world of big dogs that have been around for a long time and such, and you're like, you know what? I think I'm going to jump in and try this paint that nobody's ever heard of. Back in the old days, it was like, wow, thank you so much. We would go to shows and it would just be from the bottom of our heart. It's like, thank you for taking a chance on us.
Yep.
Your hard-earned cash to spend on something you never heard of. Big deal. Never tried. I say it all the time. I wish we could give everybody in the world that paints models a sample somehow. Because we really are kind of like the taste test. We put our money where our mouth is. We believe if you paint and you try Pro-Acryl, you will find...
Don't taste it, though.
Somewhere in our product line, you will find the paints that are right for you.
See? Look at that. Right, Philip? He doesn't think before he speaks sometimes. Ghost Hunter said, is the Monument Hobbies social media team making up employees now? Trying to convince us that someone named Grant works at World HQ? A lot of people that we hide around here. Grant is one of them.
You didn't get to come out often.
We keep a whole bunch of people in the cage in the back. Grant is one of them. Valendar said one of my local hobby shops started carrying Pro-Acryl when I wasn't looking. They can't keep the Rogue Hobby signature colors in stock. Yeah,
Nice.
Those are still super, super popular.
She just emailed me the other day. I need to get back to her again. She's blown away that people have been so readily accepting of her set. She was like, oh, I just think it's funny because we just had these crazy colors. And I'm like, they're not crazy. They're absolutely
They're
amazing.
fantastic colors.
Hers is by far and away the most explosive selling set in the Signature series.
Yeah, no one else is even close.
So this is just a very wet, thin layer of bronze over the top of all of the green and gold, and you can see how the green and the orange still give it a nice. You can see the orange warmth on this side, and then you can see the green on this side, right? That other stripe of orange right in here, and then the green again. So it just gives it a nice subtle hue shift that you can play with in all sorts of ways when you're painting. You can leave the paint super, super thin and not worry about it.
We could give out 3-ounce bottles of white. That's bigger than the regular bottle. I don't think we're going to do that.
That was
Give it
not
out for
play.
free and hook them on the whole set, like the dealers down by the river. Here,
First hit's
try
free.
this. It's your gateway. What did you say WFW was?
Warfare Weekend.
Warfare Weekend 2018. Jason brought Pro-Acryl to the hobby room. Preferred paint brand since.
That was the last one of those shows we went to. Unfortunately.
Does it still exist?
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah.
At Gen Con 23, I told someone at your booth that I had started tossing all my other paints in favor of Pro-Acryl, and he said, we don't recommend that, with a smile on his face. We do encourage you to give it to someone who's just starting in the hobby, or maybe someone you don't like.
Damn. Jin's on a rampage. Give it to your worst enemy. Your frenemies.
That is almost always the way people, well, I shouldn't say that because I don't really know. But we do know a lot of people who are like, yeah, my friend told me to try this bottle of white paint from you guys, and now I own everything. So it really is. Build paint pot, I send out bold titanium white, coal black, and mahogany when I'm doing Hobby Secret Santa, and to my mini painting friends getting back in the hobby. That's awesome. Yeah, those are good colors. Panda gave all army painter stuff to my kid to learn the basics of painting. Good too. For After Ever, I brought some Pro-Acryl. It sat on my shelf while I slap chopped my life away. Then pre-ordered AP Warpaints Fanatic because before that arrived, I finally gave the Pro-Acryl, I assume, a real try and wished I hadn't pre-ordered the Army Painter stuff.
We get that a lot.
Okran was sold on our purples. Philip, when I go to shows, I think I'm told my friend told me at least 100 times. Yes.
Yeah.
Will Nova Orange be sold only as an individual color? Yes.
Yeah.
Debating whether to order other stuff now or when it's all available. Don't want to ship just a single paint pot. Got a couple weeks before that's available. You might need other things by that time. Ghost Hunter said, I got into Pro Acryl because I saw a guy painting a giant robot wearing a skin cloak on the internet.
Yep.
You saw a guy on the internet painting a giant robot wearing a skin cloak.
We just showed that robot off.
I just changed the way I changed it around. Oh, you showed it off, yes. Valendar the Red said, I always tell people, don't let anyone tell you what paint brand to use. Listen to advice, but find what works for you. Except for white. There is no other option than bold titanium white.
That's funny how that's like on the internet all over the place.
Yeah.
People like, you can choose whatever you want except for white. You got to buy this.
Yeah.
I agree.
Ishbit said, now that makes me wonder what you were painting when I bought it. It's too many years ago to remember.
I can't remember. Did we do the light bronze after? I think we did light bronze after we did the wash, right? Yeah. Yeah, for sure. Well, we did a brown wash straight out of the bottle before that. I have to go back and watch Friday's stream to know what I did. I don't remember.
About Pro Acryl before you ever saw any streams or videos? Wow. How'd you know about us? Were you at a show, or did you see us in a store?
We out there? What are you talking about?
I mean,
the funny thing is that nowadays, it used to be you would have to really, you'd follow a streamer that used it. You'd see us streaming, something like that. Nowadays, you can just see it in the store.
yeah. Well, and a lot of people still will come into our stream and be like, oh my gosh, I didn't know you had a stream.
Yep.
Like, well, we had the stream before we had anything else.
Yeah, this is where it all started, is this stream right here. Going up on 9 years ago.
Wait, what? Hardcore Hojo said, I did a mock sales presentation using Pro Acryl paints for a job interview, and I scored the job.
Dude, now this is awesome. I want to hear more about
I need more
this.
details about this, because that's very cool.
That's rad. You took a product you love and you went and sold it? I like it.
Oh, you hadn't seen any of our streams or videos. You saw Vince and a few other YouTubers. Okay,
Yeah.
Ninjon, yep. Yeah, I mean, and the number of people who discovered us because of the Ninjon and Vince signature sets. And we had been making paint since 2018.
Yeah, all of our partners, streamers and the affiliate group, the Monumentals, Kenny from Next Level Painting has been a huge proponent of our paint since day one. Couldn't have done it without Kenny.
Miniac, Flapjack Nickel Sack said I heard about it from Miniac's stream.
Yep.
Zombie PhD got hooked with metallics. Now replacing all my paints. Thank you.
Showing off the metallics on this guy. I don't paint with metallics very often, but...
Oh, last two sets that you don't own are sitting in the cart waiting for payday. Awesome. Panda didn't know we streamed until 10 bottles in.
Till 10 bottles in? That's awesome.
Then John said they don't dry so fast, and then Dorcosaurus told me about the monthly challenges, and then my hunger for every color of Wizard's Web began.
Yes. Impending Duff, yep. Duff is great.
Oh, yeah.
Saw Duff at Gen Con. I did not, I was told I walked right by Vince.
Oh.
But I did not see Vince. Like, literally, like, shoulder to shoulder, walked right by each other. when I was going over
That's
to
me.
the Dice Tower booth for the Age of Angra thing.
That's me at like every show. I never pay attention. I'm like laser focused on where I'm going.
Yeah, me too. Especially in a crowd like Gen Con.
Yeah. There's too many people.
Wad went with PA because they tasted the best. Fair.
Nope.
Fair. If you like
No.
donkey butt, we taste the best.
But don't eat the paint.
But don't eat the paint. But don't eat the paint! What was I doing?
Philip bought white on a recommendation from a friend at the game store, used it for 3 months, then started working here.
Phil knew us from,
Funkatronic Rex.
yeah, but what's his
Christian.
name? He
Christian.
used to work here? Christian?
Yeah.
I think Christian, right? I think the first time I met Christian, he was talking to Phil at Funkatronic Rex.
Oh, really?
Yeah, he followed me out after I went in and bought something, some box set. And he followed me out asking me if we were hiring. And I
Christian
think
or
he
Philip?
had been talking to Philip that day.
Oh.
Yeah, he was teaching him
Teaching
AOS.
AOS.
Yep, that's it. Crazy, right? Crazy, man. Crazy.
And who was first? Christian was first.
Christian was first.
Okay.
Yeah.
Papa Chicken said, have you ever primed with Stynol Res? They're what I'm using now, and I'm kind of wishy-washy about it. What's different with Pro Primer?
We use a much lighter polyurethane. So, or I guess it's not that we use a lighter one. We use much less polyurethane, which is a kind of a fine edge that we try. I like a primer that lays super flat, doesn't obscure any detail, is easy to clean up, doesn't gum up your airbrush, and that you can lay on quickly, in lots of quick layers. And so that's what ours is. You'll find people that will say, if you hear anybody talking that they don't like our primer, it's because they're trying to prime the whole model in one go. You have to build the primer up in layers because of the lighter polyurethane, meaning that it doesn't have the same amount of adhesion that a Stynol Res or a Vallejo has. Just spraying it like, bah, that's not how you do primer, right? I come from a world where painting metal, cars, motorcycles, things that have to drive down the road. You would do the primer, then you'd sand it, then you prime, then you sand. You'd probably do 3 or 4 layers of primer maybe and get it all nice and smooth. Here you don't have to sand it, but it does that by doing light coats. They interlock together and get stronger the more coats you apply. But it's a dream to clean up, ultra matte, right? I mean, we probably have tons of models around here, right? So ultra matte.
See ya. Have a good day.
This is the new brush-on version of it, but it's the same as the other, right? So ultra matte varnish, or primer.
New meaning coming soon in this case. It's not available.
Really good tooth for painting on top of. Yeah, just great all the way around. We make the products we use. We don't make products to sell. I mean, we have to sell them, so that's stupid to say that, right? But we only make products to sell that we will also use all the time. So every model you've ever seen me paint on here is primed with Procro primer. Right?
Schmidt scrolled back and thinks that it might have been Tank Girl that you were painting.
Tank Girl, yeah,
when you
maybe.
started.
Maybe. That would have been so far back, that was before Pro Acryl.
Oh.
So I don't know if that's true.
T. Schmidt has been around that long.
Tank Girl was started back before Pro Acryl, and then I bled over into the release of Pro Acryl with her.
Oh, that must be it then.
So she was still valid on stream probably, but
yeah. Romeo G said, "Okay, geez, fine, I'll buy some primer."
Thank you.
2018ish, 17 mil bottles. Yep, that would have been right. It wasn't the exact model. It was a like a, what would you call it? Like a tribute kind of, well, homage.
It was an homage.
Homage is what T. Schmidt said.
There's not. I mean, there might be Tank Girl models, but I was
The model that he used was not specifically.
It was a
called
machine
Tank
in
Girl.
Krieger. The Mark 44 combat armor.
Tank Girl is a comic that became a movie that killed that actress's career.
That did what?
Killed that actress's career.
Did she have a career?
I mean, she was in Point Break, the original.
Oh, well, sorry.
And those might be the only two. I don't really know.
Was her name Laura something?
Lori Petty.
Lori Petty, yeah.
Oh, she was on Orange Is the New Black for a long time. So that was well after. Oh yeah, she was in A League of Their Own too. Yep. But Point Break, she was like the main girl in Point Break.
By main girl, the one that Keanu Reeves, one of the
Yep.
lead guy's girlfriend.
Yeah.
She would have been Dirty Dancing's girlfriend.
Patrick Swayze.
Patrick Swayze's girlfriend.
And then she worked at like the surf shop or something and met what's his name? Her career was rapidly going up, then Tank Girl and Kerplop.
That girl had iced tea as Booga.
Yeah,
You call
her
it a
character on Orange Is the New Black was really good.
How in the world could you say Tank Girl is a bad movie? Mixing some silver in with magnesium to get a brighter version of magnesium.
Now, is this for a new game that you're going to be playing?
What's that?
This model that you're painting?
This is War Machine. This is all those other models that I've owned forever. This is the game I used to go out on Wednesday nights and play all the time.
Right, but why are you painting it again now? Because isn't Jordan painting one too?
Yeah, the Mark IV release, they conned us into playing.
Okay.
Well, I say conned. They didn't have to try very hard. My favorite game.
So there are others here who are going to be playing this game as well?
Yeah, Gabe has got an army. We've got 3 or 4 armies that we have. I'm certain there will be no lack of people wanting to take part.
Fugger said War Machine, so good.
I'm excited to see it grow again. I really hope that Steamforge can do some good stuff with it.
Gabe said, I started painting it this weekend.
Oh, awesome.
Tried something new that I don't really love, but it was fast. Is there a way to make it that you love it without taking up a whole bunch of extra time? What's Brine Blood? Is that,
Trolls.
That's in that game?
Yeah.
Okay. Hardcore said, all I painted this weekend. Crucible Guard for life.
One of the few armies I never owned. Never even sought to own them. Didn't like their models much.
Game Delay, he's painting something from War Machine. Oh, Gabe is painting Brine Blood.
What's that?
Gabe said, I am painting Brine Blood.
Yeah, we have all the trolls. So Gabe's painting trolls. Trolls are my first love in War Machine, but I'm not a fan of pirates.
It is 3:45.
So the current trolls are not. I heard you. The current trolls are not big for me because of that, because they're all pirate based. But they have some of the southern creoles coming out, I think, or something, that are more like traditional troll bloods. And so I'm excited to hopefully at least paint a few of those models. I may not get into the faction right now. I'm really enjoying the idea of Signar in this purple scheme, and then the Shadow Flame Shard, the Chimera Shadow Flame Shard guys. I'm really stoked to pick out some cool color scheme. We got to find something really neat on these guys because they are like mecha worms.
Telemachus, I read that 3 times trying to figure out what the joke was, and then I realized you were talking about this game. Lemka said, I want to find the last release wave of Crucible Guard. I didn't pick any up when I had the chance.
I love the one thing I'm
Joke.
interested in all of this is there's a lot of people that are like dying to get their hands on older War Machine. I'm like, I have it all. You want to pay me big chunks of money? I just don't have Crucible Guard, unfortunately.
Gabe said, I think I could switch a few steps around to get a better outcome, but we'll see. I'm going to try again today. Admiral Boom Howler is fun to paint, except for all the random barnacles. Is this the game that has the fun names?
Yeah.
The Boom...
Well, okay, so that's 40K, the Boondocka Snaz Wagon.
Yeah, that's the one. I almost had
That's
it too.
also orcs, and that's kind of what the trolls are in War Machine.
Gotcha.
But no, the trolls in War Machine have got, character names, and Boom Howler is like the daughter. I don't know, I haven't read the history.
Right? This is, like I remember I liked a bunch of these models. They're like little goblin-y things and stuff from this game. Okay.
Well, there's the one Grimkin army that I was painting that had the Dreamer that you painted. You painted the Dreamer? The woman.
Yeah, I painted the Dreamer, but I painted a whole set of there were like four miniatures that I painted. Oh my gosh, where are they?
For War Machine?
I believe so.
Oh no, those were the miniatures for it's made by the same company, and it was their little fun game that had the goblin and the big woman that you painted in all the armor.
Yeah.
I can't remember what that was called.
No, it wasn't Monpok. I did paint a Monpok model. And I painted a couple because I painted Captain Titanicus.
Yep.
Riot Quest. Thank you. That's
Riot
one.
Quest. You are correct.
Okay.
Yeah, Riot Quest. She painted a bunch of the set of Riot Quest, actually.
Yeah, I painted like 3 or 4 of them, I think. I don't know where they are. Maybe they're in that case in Kyle's
They're
office.
in a case or something around here from the
probably
move.
The one in Kyle's office.
That's not something we've messed with since the move, unfortunately.
They're not up there, I don't think.
We got very disillusioned with the whole Privateer Press world because they pulled an Age of Sigmar and kind of tanked the whole War Machine thing. So it's nice to see them coming back with some good rule sets, and armies have changed, but I think we talked about it the other day, I think it'll be really good for them in that they don't have the tremendous amount of SKU bloat for stores. You can actually sell this game now because it doesn't have as many models. That's really hard for retailers to keep up with, We talk about it with having 126 colors. People are like, how many more colors are you going to make? I'm like, we could make none and be happy about it.
Papa Chicken said, any news on the next move? Got like $1 million you can loan us? Because if not, then no. We have no news.
$1 million won't even do it.
No.
I found the perfect building.
You did?
Yeah,
Something
buddy of mine,
different?
introduced me to a broker at that meeting, at that dinner I went to the other night, or the happy hour thing.
Yeah.
That guy sent over a building, and it was awesome. It's $5.5 million.
Where is it?
It's also in Scottsdale, so that's not a big deal.
That's...
But it was perfect. It was one of those that makes you like, oh, man. Like, not where we want to be at all.
No, we don't call it that, but it's just not close. I mean, it's not. Everything's close. But no. Have it on good authority that a loan of $1 million is a small loan. That is correct.
SBA, baby. I don't know what businesses they're talking to, but yeah,
Everyone
technically
chips in $1. Jason will only need $4.9 million to get the building. No, we're not building a new building. We will find one that already exists.
I wish we had the time and money to build a building. That would be perfect. We can't. We ain't that big yet.
No. Booker said, Jason, have you had a chance to check out War Crow? It's a new mini game by the guys who made Infinity.
We have it. I have one of the next models that I'll be painting in the near future is the limited edition bear from the War Crow pre-release. It's sitting on my desk. Gabe built it for me. Yeah. Excited to check it out.
Ooh,
See what it's all about.
Excited too.
Gabe and I are going to play. Walk through the rules here someday.
Can we kickstart a warehouse? What would the stretch goals be? I don't think that's how Kickstarter works. Although people are used to giving money and not getting anything in return, I think, from Kickstarters, right?
Yes.
So maybe.
We just be honest about it from the front. All right, here's the deal.
We're not going to give you anything.
You don't
we
get
just want your
anything.
money.
We just get to be happy in a new building. We need $5 million. Go.
Gabe said, I told Jason I was interested in trying it, and he said, great, you can build it.
Sounds like me. I honestly hate building models nowadays.
It's the Bear Limited.
Man, look how good that looks. I just want you guys to take a look at the magnesium with silver mixed with the magnesium 50-50 for the second coat. Look at that. It doesn't even need a wash. It's such a good, like, oily, tarnished silver. So good. I love when I get excited about our paints.
NATO's Foreign Life. Is it Foreign Life? Like foreign? That's clever. If not, then I don't understand your name as much, but that's okay. Time for me to head off to Pop's birthday dinner. Well, wish him happy birthday from us. Enjoy your dinner, and we'll see you next time. Thanks for hanging out. NATO's for Unlife. Okay.
I just call them Unlife.
If we hit a stretch goal of X, we'll include a restroom for the employees. Why? And we'll include air conditioning.
Just another million, and they can have air conditioning.
Stay here, and we'll all just be real close to each other.
Can't imagine not having air conditioning. So many of these big factories we go look at, locations, don't have any AC. They're all swamp cooled. Kind of scary. Makes me wonder, like, what do you do in there that you can do that? Although the guy I went and visited, of course, has a bodywork place.
Yeah.
And they don't have any AC.
No. Doesn't that just mean wetter? And it's for the swamp coolers to work effectively, you need moisture in the air?
No, you don't want moisture in the air.
Moisture in the air, okay.
It needs dry air.
Which is why people think that they work fine here. But they really don't.
They work. Cooler. They work better than nothing.
Evaporative cooler.
But you have to apply water to it.
I've been to swamps.
You feed water. They have to have a water line drawn to them. You're blowing water across the fan, right? The cooler in a radiator sense. And then the air is blowing that cool air that's cooled because the water's in the radiator.
It's like those fans that have a little misty bottle on them, right?
Right. Yeah. Simple, but it's like a car radiator. But if the humidity in the air outside is, I don't know what the level is, 60%, 50%, then it stops working, right?
Kendrick, thank you for the follow.
You've been to swamps. They're not a nice temperature to be at. Well, it's not trying to cool it to be like a swamp.
Swamps are pretty swampy.
They just call them swamp coolers. Evaporative cooler. I mean, my mom's in Colorado, and that's what they have.
Does it get any... I mean, they're dry all the time there, though. Like, do they have a season like we do where it gets a little humid?
No, it works pretty much all the time, I think, for them. They don't have, like, a monsoon or...
Yeah, I mean, there are still some old houses that only have evaporative.
Our house didn't even have that. Our house, this is the first time it's had any cooling at all, other than maybe window units.
Cyocast or Ceocast, I think. Tadpole. It's a, is it a resin?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Ceores or Cyores.
How often is it humid in Arizona? I mean, there's always humidity. There's just degrees of it.
Only a couple of months here during monsoon season do we really feel it. To where you'll have a day that it's like, yeah, oh, I can tell the humidity is crazy today. Who's asking about Ceores? Oh, what is Ceocast? Cyocast, yeah. Like Gabe said, it's a way of kind of creating a pseudo injection mold with resin. The problem is it doesn't work well. It doesn't solve the problem it needs to solve for bigger models, because the larger the space you're trying to fill. If you're familiar with how injection molding goes, you have a mold that's usually 2 or more pieces that you can imagine sandwiched together. Those are put in a pressure plate, basically like a big press, 10,000 pound press that presses down and keeps the halves together. And then it has injection ports along the side of it, or the top, or whatever side is facing outside of the press. And then you can inject heated plastic or resins, liquid plastics basically, into it. And the pressure causes them to fill the gaps. There's air hoses to evacuate pressure, and you fill until the resin starts coming out the evacuation slots. And obviously you have to have it be a low enough viscosity material that it goes into like little fingers at the end, and that's why there's like sprue posts at a hand, because that's a place where more resin or plastic can come into an area, a void or a cavity in the mold that can then spread out. So that's the more detailed the model is, usually the more contact points it has to the sprue. What Cyocast is doing is allowing you to use a cheaper material in resin and be able to do it kind of home style. Smaller businesses can do injection molded plastics, whereas you can't really do that because the cost of making the mold is all CNC milled. These are done with vulcanized rubber or silicone. So, but the silicone molds can't take a ton of pressure. They start to expand and distort. And so you can't put them under a lot of pressure from the sandwiching them together part, and then they can't take a lot of pressure internally either. So they can't do large cavity stuff. Like, they have a limitation how big a piece can get, because past the point, the mold has to become magnesium or steel, and then as soon as you're having to mill your mold, you might as well just inject plastic into it. So it's filling a gap between resin casting that gives you lots of problems and is really intensive on quality control from humans having to do everything correct and by hand, to injection molded plastic, which can today really be done by CNC machining, and doesn't have to take a lot other than a technician that knows 3D sculpting very well. So it's a neat stopgap for small miniatures. It's just, if you want to make a big miniature, you have to make it in 1 million pieces. Yeah, Gabe's kind of tired of the Cyocast models from Infinity, or the what's it called? Acryl. One of the big problems is that Cyocast resin shrinks a lot when it cools, and so then the parts don't go together very well either. We did our test models for our miniature game in them, right? This guy, right, is all Cyocast, and he's pretty big. right? He's got some chunky parts, but he doesn't go together very well. One of the big problems is that you can see like it had gaps where his arms didn't fit into the area around the leather. See that gap? So it's not out of the question. We may still use it, but we've got to learn how to sculpt to take advantage of the shrinkage and the things that are going on. So there's a little bit of learning the design process and all that. But this is all Siocast. This is about as big as you can literally go. And he's not small. He's not quite Dreadnought size, but he's not tiny. For the smaller detail guys and things that aren't as complicated sculpts, it can be really, really cool. Especially if you can get them done in like one part. I don't know where the rest of our models are. Shush. No. I'm just trying to find the various... Oh, there they are. I found both of them. Ta-da!
I took a lot of them over there.
No, non-painted ones. These are more of the models that sculpts that we're doing for our game. But you can see how, like, you know, big spears and stuff like that are kind of bendy. They're tough, right? But it's more like PVC. They're not like hard plastic like GW. They're more like, like PVC. But they're not brittle. They're not going to snap. So from that perspective, they're pretty cool. Yeah, this guy's just one piece. This guy's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 pieces. Right? Arms, legs, torso. This guy's one piece. So the more we can keep them in one piece, the better. Right? This is just his sword. Needs to kind of bend back straight. But when you can design them like this, they're nice and easy. Easy to clean. No shrinkage to worry about. It just doesn't give you the dynamicism that you can get from like 3D printing. You know, that's the thing is if you go to 3D print like this guy, that's one piece. This guy, you don't have to do anything except put him on the base. Right? So the dynamic nature of 3D printing means there's just things you can't do without multi-piece models that, you know, no matter how you do it, a mold won't do that because you can't have the undercuts and you can't layer parts and pieces over themselves to such a level as you can with 3D printing. So it's a neat war of sorts, but not really being a war. It's kind of like Betamax versus, VCR or whatever. It's fun to take part in it and see what is going to come out on top. It's better than Finecast. It really is better than Finecast. Finecast wasn't necessarily bad because of the material. Finecast was bad because they took the old molds that were spinning metal and then just put resin in them and had to add a bunch of connection points because resin doesn't get as low viscosity as metal does when it's molten. So in order to get the resin to flow through it, so you had all that flash and all that cleanup on them, which was a pain. Like you'd get the model and you'd be like, what am I supposed to do with this? But Siocast is much better than that.
You ready to wrap things up?
Ghost Hunter, you were hoping for at least PVC from what? From ours? That's probably where we're going to go. It's just we don't have that kind of injection of capital to be able to do PVC molded, injection molded models. But we're talking with manufacturers overseas that are helping us learn that process so that we can get better at providing STLs that can make their process for the molds easier. And so the more we learn, the better we get, the more cost effective it becomes for us. So we'll see. Mentioning Finecast is a great
So loud.
I know there's an Inquisitor under all that. I have a bunch of orcs, right? So, all right, gang. So today I really did one thing, and that was paint a bunch of magnesium parts. But he looks good. Now I just have to I'll do a quick wash on the magnesium tomorrow, and then we'll highlight the magnesium, highlight the little bits of gold that I had to do today on the sword because I got to the point of doing the wash, but I need to go back and do the highlights on there. And then once we're done with that, I'll do the highlights on the purple. And, well, I'll probably do the lights, right? All the coils first, the OSL glow and stuff. No, I probably do the highlights first, then do the glow last, and then re-highlight after the glow messes everything up. Good fun. Then we'll put them on a base. Then we'll determine if we're going to paint these guys first, because, gosh, I really like the new Signar Storm host stuff, right? Big, bulky, armored dudes. the Storm Guard and Storm Knights. They're pretty cool. So I don't know if we're going to paint that, or I went all in on Chimera. And I really like these guys. I need to find a paint scheme. This will probably be something where I paint off stream and paint one of the models up to see if I find a scheme I really like. And then I'll make a determination. I'm a big fan of purple, though. These guys look good. So that's it for us. It's 4 o'clock. For all of you that might be new here, all of yous. I just said all of yous that might be new here.
All you guys.
All of yous guys who might be new around here, please hit that follow button. Remember, we stream 5 days a week from Monday to Friday, 2 p.m. to 4 p.m. Mountain Standard Time here in Phoenix, Arizona. We'd love to see you back. Love that you found us. Hope you had a good time. Talking nonsense and painting. Texas is offended. Why are they offended? Because I said yous and I'm from Texas? Get with the program, man. This is the modern times. You pretty much talk with whatever dialect you want. Y'all is the correct use. Use. Ah, man, I say it all is the problem.
I can never say y'all.
I don't?
Like, I can't. Like, people type it all the time, and I never say it.
You never say y'all.
It just doesn't seem right.
I say y'all, and you. I don't really say use, but I just did. So anyway. Yeah. So thanks for hanging out with us. Remember to hit all those links that Jen put in the chat. Did you put them in the chat already?
I did put them
They
in the
scrolled
chat.
past, so scroll up and find them again. Check out the store for all the Pro Acryl paints, Pro Series brushes, all the awesome stuff. We've got texture trainers, bags, all the amazing hobby goods we've got. They will change your life, guaranteed. And then check out the YouTube and the Discord. The Discord's got, I don't know, approaching 5,000 amazing artists in there. It's a great place to come hang out. Tons of great inspiration going on. 4,629 amazing stories of Pro Acryl acquisition. What? Oh, of people getting Pro Acryl. I was like, we got bought? Pro Acryl acquisition is like, did somebody fail to tell me I no longer have a job? Games Workshop has bought us. We're gone by it. All right, so have a great evening. Stick around. We're going to find somebody to raid, so show love in the chat we wind up in. It's free to hit that follow button. It'll excite them and keep them doing great content for you. And we will see you back here tomorrow. Same bat time, same bat channel. Adios, gang.
Bye, everyone.